There's a reason why we haven't been here before. Jimmy, tell them.
I think it's too nice.
It's all too nice. I want everything in here, and it's all a lot of money. This could bankrupt a man.
What about these pigeonholes?
Oh, I love those pigeonholes as well. I want it all. So on this fine Monday afternoon, I'm not in work, as you can probably tell by my surroundings. I got some news last week that my landlord is wanting to sell the house that I'm renting. So I've been out looking at a few properties, having a look at a few, and I've been accompanied by Jimmy. I pulled Jimmy out of the office today. He's been playing in the lab, and we went to look at just some houses. And now we're treating ourselves to a nice burger in the Crown Hotel in Bawtry, and then we're just going to talk about the new product launches that we're getting underway. Right, so we are recording now because we forgot to record earlier, which is one of the hardest things that I found about doing these vlogs, is remembering to record things, which I'm bad at and Grady forgets to tell me to do. So we had a meeting earlier that you guys should have been watching, and you didn't because we messed up. I'm sorry. But to catch you up, we were basically discussing the vlogs, because now that Grady's taken over editing, we were looking at how to move forward, because obviously it's new for you.
Yeah.
Which is exciting.
Yeah, it is. I think there's certainly been a sense of achievement from my point of view.
Yeah.
I mean, week one, because I'd used iMovie before, which anybody who's watching who's used it knows that it does its job, but it's got very basic sort of functionality in comparison to other editing suites. So because I knew my way around the iMovie, I thought, right, for week one, let's just blast it out there. Let's just put it together.
We had like an 8-hour period to learn and edit the first vlog, which was not episode 23, which came out yesterday. Episode 22 that came out last week.
Yeah.
So that was fun. Yeah. And now you're using Final Cut Pro.
Final Cut Pro, which again I had a similar sort of time frame, but I had been reading up on it a little bit. And Scott, bless him, he's run through a few sort of key things in which would make my life a little bit easier using Final Cut. So
weirdly, Final Cut Pro is an Apple product, as is iMovie. And are they similar at all?
No, not really. The terminology is different. I mean, literally, if you press a certain shortcut key that you're not sure what it actually does, your screen could totally readjust and your window ends up here, and there's lots of different stuff going on. But it's just the capability of Final Cut. It's just a lot slicker. So I've used this on the second vlog, which is episode 23. So yeah, it's been good, and obviously this meeting, what we just had, was to discuss what we could do to improve it, which I think is where the audience could come in as well.
Where you guys come in, because obviously, we want the content to be great, but it's not just about the content. The way that psychology works, people's minds work. There's got to be more than just interesting content to make something happen. That's why movies, or you might see on Facebook, those powerful, inspiring videos always have a soundtrack to them. Things like that affect it. So we want to make the vlogs easier to watch, and that's things like the music. So we've been talking about finding new tracks.
As much as one person loves a particular track on the on the episode, but it's becoming a bit stagnant now, the soundtrack. So.
Yeah, and getting music that suits certain parts better, fits those gaps. We're also looking at doing different scene edits as well, or cut scenes, so that the transfer between one scene to another scene is going to be a little bit choppier and more exciting. Therefore, it's going to be easier to watch through the whole thing without feeling like the vlog's just ending every scene.
I think both Sam and myself, obviously me now editing the vlogs, it'd be really, really good for you guys who are watching out there, to give your feedback. To let me know as the editor what you'd like to sort of see within the footage, to let Sam know as the main guy. in terms of content which you'd love to know about, any questions you've got from a business perspective that you might want to ask Sam.
Just interact with us.
Yeah.
Tell us what you like, what you don't like, with the content and everything. And then we can take that information to create something that you guys want to watch. I'll always ask people what parts about the vlog they like the most, but particularly now I'm learning how to document the right content. Grady's learning how to create the actual vlogs. It would be awesome if you guys got involved and left comments and got in touch with us. So.
Yeah, and I think if you do answer any questions, I mean, we can always directly answer them to you in the following vlog, so you feel part of that communication as well. So if you've got any questions, and fire them in.
Sweet. But yeah, so sorry for not including you, and sorry for rambling on this little stint, but we'll make it up to you, we promise. I'm just about to head into work. It's Wednesday morning now, and Chloe is going to Leeds Fest for the weekend, which means I have the buggers all weekend. Gatsby's sat in the passenger seat ready to go. Bear's in the back, he's about to get strapped in, and then we're going to head into the office, aren't we? Yeah, we're going to head down. Bear's got his work face on, he's game, he's ready to get his head down, do some really productive work today. He says that he's going to do a lot of R&D in the dog food that we've got, to see which is the tastiest, aren't you? Yeah. And Gatsby says that he's going to. Gatsby's just going to be causing some mischief today. He's going to go up to people and he's going to paw at them until he gets affection. Behave kind of like a cat, and generally just be a little bit naughty. I think is that your entire plan for the day, Gatsby? Yeah, that's his entire plan for the day. I don't think there's much else planned for him.
You put the same pixel onto the second website, which is not in the same country, although there might be some crossover. In essence, it's going to muddy the waters a little bit because of the accuracy of that data received. That's something you can cross over the experience.
Right. So I mean, before I go into that, and I can give you a lot of information there, especially some big hurdles that we're currently experiencing that might resonate with you. With your US store, do you charge the set, that $38? Do you charge that as a set? So that was quite a cool little meeting with Carl from a company called The Killing Tree, which is a clothing apparel store. Carl wanted to have a chat because he knows that I run Cutthroat 87 in Volstead. And he particularly wanted to talk about the international part of business and how he could scale into the US, which is something that we've done. As I've mentioned a few times, we've sold to a lot of countries with A87 and quite a few with Volstead. So he's having a few issues in expanding and finding the easiest way to do that. There's all kinds of hurdles that you can think of when you do something like this. And the biggest issue from my point of view that Carl is having is he has way too much choice for the customer. We were talking about the amount of designs he has, and it's around about the 400 mark of designs, which he can put onto any one of his garments, so t-shirts, hats, whatever it might be. So 400 is a mind-blowing amount, and you can imagine the difficulty that you'd have in stock control, warehousing and everything else. And he's got a very clever way of dealing with it when you run it from the UK, but the moment you try to tackle something like America and the giant that the US is, then you've really got to think about how you run your business and make some huge changes. So I've set Carl a task of going away, looking and analysing his product inventory and the amount of SKUs, product lines that he has, and seeing what's working, what's not, what are his top 10 selling products, how much do they sell, using that as a benchmark, looking at the amount of orders that he gets over the past quarter, over the past week, and seeing which product lines they do. Is he selling multiples, or is he sending single units of each? And really using that to try and scale back what he does, so he can scale the business as a whole up. So I'm going to have a talk with Carl in a couple of weeks and see where he's got to. But I'm looking forward to seeing how he tackles this one. Definitely got some good ideas for it, and we'll see how he grows it. But check out his website, and yeah, I'm going to do the same. What a day! So get ready for some excitement. Today I have almost got the Volstead website ready. I'm waiting on the prices of the gold versions of Volstead pieces, which Brian will be doing. Brian's my business partner who you met a couple of vlogs back in Copenhagen. He's very busy, so I'm waiting on that. Then that will be ready to launch. We do have to update the imagery a little bit, but the site's functional and it will allow us to do the marketing and the growth that we want to do with Volstead. So exciting. On top of that, I've been working on integrating our accounting software. We use a program called Xero with our Apothecary 87 Shopify account. Now, don't get excited because it's mind-numbingly boring. But we've spent a ridiculous amount of time trying to work out what the app's actually doing because it's not right and it's messing up our books. So this thing that makes our books nice and neat, nice and tidy and automated so we do very little it has random payments that just don't exist coming through from there. Transaction fees that aren't real. So it's very, very confusing. And we've spent a lot of time dealing with that. I know, you're jealous. Well, now to try and chill out a little bit, I'm waiting for Jimmy. Jimmy's coming through. We're going to drive to Halifax. In Halifax there's a place called Andy Thornton's, and they do loads of vintage cool display stuff. So point of sale furniture, tiles for walls, whatever it might be, loads of old school stuff. And we're going to go down there because I want to update our display booth for Volstead when we do the London tattoo show. So I'm going to go down with Jimmy. Jimmy loves old stuff too, so we're going to check it out and see what we can get to really show off the brand and just make it look cool. So that's going to help me get my mind working again after all this mind-numbing accounting, bookkeeping, software integration stuff. So, hurry up please, Jimmy, I don't want to wait anymore. Jimmy showed up, we're on our way to Huddersfield. We're actually almost there and I forgot to film, so I'm sorry for that.
It's something to spark your memory.
Yeah. So yeah, we're 9 minutes away from where we need to be. So you guys will come and get to choose some cool furniture with us for Volstead. You're going shopping with us. Fallen in love with this, I think it's Portuguese pharmacy display, shop display. Got more around there, selling for about 45,000 plus VAT, and I love it and I want it, but I can't justify it. Can I? Yes. There's a reason why we haven't been here before. Jimmy, tell them. All too nice. I want everything in here, and it's all a lot of money. This could bankrupt a man. Oh, I love those pigeonholes as well. I want it all. That was horrible. I had a bad time in there. There was far too much stuff that I wanted that I don't think I could afford unless I'm a billionaire. You could buy an entire shop an old pharmacy. Yeah, it was the Spanish. Was it Spanish or Portuguese pharmacy?
Spanish, I think.
From what era?
I have no idea.
It
They
looked,
were using.
it looked like
absinthe
1800s. Yeah, it looked like it was from the 1800s. And to be honest, I need that in my life. I need an entire
came on the
1800s pharmacy in my lounge, ideally. Yet I can't afford the 45 grand plus VAT. I haven't got that lying around.
I thought that was your dividend here.
I wish. Just a cheeky 45 grand for a pharmacy shop. So yeah, that's a shame. But they do have some other stuff. It's just whether or not they've got the things that we want for Volstead in the timeline that we need, because it's less than a month until the show. There's going to be the turnaround time.
Some shows over there.
We've got some products or some bits that we can use to make the display, but we want to try and have something that works a bit better. And there's definitely a certain way of doing better with retail at shows, depending on the product lines that you have. Jewelry's relatively easy. We know what to do. We just need the right furniture for it. So yeah, hopefully we'll find something that you guys will be the first to know. We are back at the office in the lab. Jimmy is just sorting out a couple of bits of some samples that he's created for me to take away and try. Nothing that I can tell you about yet, or secret, but it's using those ingredients you saw me unpack the other week, so interesting things that I'm quite excited to play around with, so keep your eyes peeled. What a fantastically quiet day at the office. I want to show you guys this, and this is a black screen on my computer, and the reason for that black screen is because our internet's down. BT have found the fault on the line, which is good because our internet's been so slow for so long. I think we had a download speed yesterday of 0.3. Now, for anyone who doesn't know, you kind of really want there to be at least double figures the other way. You know, anywhere between 20 and 50, we had 0.3. So BT are here finally trying to sort it out. But at the moment we've got nothing. So we are just working the best we can with no internet. And we are online companies. Okay, so first of all, we've got a little Gatsby here who's sat next to me. We're about to head round to Jimmy's. Just in case you were wondering, I think there's Bear. So you know where everyone is. So basically, today is Saturday, and I am having a day off, which some of you who know me is unheard of. I'm normally the first person who is happy to work mornings, nights, weekends, on social hours to get things done and get ahead of the game. But I also think it's very important not to overwork, and recently I have been working 7 AM till about 2 AM most days, and it takes a big toll on you. So just to get back on track and feel good again, I've had a day of doing not much so far. Had a lay-in, watched some TV, a little bit of social media, but now I'm gonna go to Jimmy's, gonna chill out, me, Jimmy, Luke, Kat, Lily, taking the boys around, have some food, a couple of beers, and just try and refresh, because Monday is a bank holiday. I know that I'm going to be working on Monday. I know that most evenings next week I'm going to be working late as per. So once in a while I just want to have a chill, and today is that once in a while. So don't underestimate the power of a little bit of rest. And I know some of you think I'm a bit of a hypocrite for saying that, but my rest is not what most people's is. So a day here and there is perfect for me. But if you can't think straight, and if you can't, then you can't work to your best. If you can't think straight, and if you can't work to your best, then you know, maybe it's time just to have a moment. So that's what I'm doing. So now I'm going to head round, get some beers in the fridge, and just relax for the evening. So for me, guys, that's it today.